We watched the day unfold on television, and I remember the last thing that I said to my wife, Sue, was, "This is really, really bad."
So the St. Michael's Project was very interesting in that Hurricane Ian had come through and really completely devastated Sanibel Island. In fact, access to the island was completely cut off.
The hurricane was pretty widespread, covering from south of Naples all the way up through into some areas of Orlando when it went back out the other side of Florida. So Sanibel in particularly was isolated. The bridge had major issues from the hurricane, and it was a little bit over a week before traffic could even get across the bridge. So the people and businesses of Sanibel were completely isolated from help.
It was about 9 days after the storm that we were allowed to come out by boat, came out with Steve and Jason from FP Property Restoration, and landed on the beach, crawled over a big pile of debris and where the sand had piled up, and saw the church for the first time in the company of the FP folks.
Our regional field manager, using our systems, was able to locate a local contractor, FP Restoration, who seemed to be a really good candidate for this type of work because it's a very challenging project. FP Restoration was able to get out to Sanibel Island, really using some local ingenuity to commandeer some watercraft, let's say, to get out there and assess the situation in the immediate aftermath of the storm. And that was a really critical aspect because they were able to render the assistance that they could to help begin the rebuild process almost immediately.
So to get here to the property, we started communicating with the church via text message at first because phones weren't working. Then we finally were able to reach someone via phone. Took the boat around Sanibel Island a long way, about as close as we could get, and then waded through water 2.5 miles from the church. Then the actual church itself is a fairly old historical building, some complex architecture. So when we arrived there, right off the bat, you can tell it's not your normal building, not your normal architecture. Every building had a unique construction and had to have a unique approach to how we were going to restore it. So once we actually left the island and got back to the mainland and started discussing the project, we were able to communicate with Alacrity and Church Insurance and talk about, hey, we're not sure the timetable that the bridge is going to be out. We were able to get approval to use a barge system, which we were able to move all of our equipment to a different part of Florida and barge it to the island. So we had a 4 to 5 day jump on when the bridge was open, where we had people over here, generators, equipment. We started working. And then as we started communicating with people that we knew were working on the bridge, they told us, hey, we think the bridge is going to open. We had all our trucks in line. I think we were in 9th truck back that day.
On any insurance loss of any size, the key to a successful outcome is communication. That's something that we stress with our contractor partners, with our carrier clients. In this particular case, our regional field manager was able to communicate with the local contractor, FP Restoration. FP Restoration, in addition to overcoming the challenges to actually get to the job site every day, did a really wonderful job of communicating back to us and to our insurance carrier, as well as to the insured, Father Bill, that what they were doing, how long they anticipated the repairs to take, and give them an update really on a daily basis as to the type of work they were going to be doing so that St. Michael's could plan for when they might be back in operation to serve their community.
So there was a significant amount of holidays and events that the church was going to miss from the time the hurricane hit to all the way through the next year. But we had marked that Christmas, that period of time, as like, we want to be open for that. And as it got closer, I'd say 90 days out, those questions started coming up more and more. Are we going to be open for Christmas? Are we going to be open for holidays? And we just decided we're not going to be able to say no. We're going to have to deliver on this. Everyone took that as like, that has to be the date that they're open, and not just open, but open with, significant amount of capacity, with the lights on, with the ACs working, everything that we could deliver on. And people put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, including our vendors, calling in favors to vendors, calling in favors to subcontractors, and even speaking with Church Insurance about, hey, we need this, various things we might need to make it happen. And I would say it was a team effort to include the church and the community to make it come together all the way down to the last second before service.
FP had people here 7 days a week during the month of November, including Thanksgiving and the day after, getting things done so that we could be back in the sanctuary for the Christmas weekend. And right up until the Saturday of Christmas weekend, they were putting in temporary HVAC for us on Saturday afternoon so that we could have a 5 o'clock service and welcome everybody back into this space. And people were moved to tears when they walked in.
All of these timelines and communications and systems that we use are really designed to produce an outcome where the insured is satisfied with the work that was done.
There was a real spirit of coming together to say, yeah, this parish is a really important part of this island. We need to continue to be here, and we're going to work together to make that happen. And people came together. It was really marvelous to see. And working in conjunction with FP and with Church Insurance, I felt like we were really partners in this effort. It was a marvelous, marvelous experience.